AEW just got one step closer to restoring the feeling as both Hangman Adam Page and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, made their return to Dynamite and really helped fix one of AEW's biggest issues, that being not having their biggest stars for months on end. And we've discussed in previous videos how not having the likes of Britt Baker, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, Jamie Hayter, and the list goes on really hurts your company, because these are stars that the fans of the company are used to seeing. These are stars that people really want to tune in and are invested into rooting for. And when they're not on TV, it really hurts that fan experience. And this is an issue that really goes back to 2022. AEW in 2021 into 2022 was doing some of the best business they've ever done. As far as live attendance, as far as ratings and the key demo, they were right up there with WWE and competing with them on a very serious level in those respects. But as time went on, and in 2022, after Brawl Out, you had a situation where CM Punk and the Elite, 4 of your biggest stars, were all gone from AEW television for months on end. And in the case of CM Punk, he was not seen until June of the next year. And even after he did return and he was positioned as one of the biggest guys in the company, he then was fired for that brawl at All In. AEW's been in a situation where they've had stars gone for long stretches of time, and that's really hurt the momentum and the stories they've been telling on television. And you combine that with the fact that you've had multiple stars, big-time stars, out with injuries for months on end. That is going to hurt. And that's why it was so important for them to get Britt Baker and Hangman Page back. These are 2 AEW originals who have been there since the beginning, who have ridden out the storm, who have seen everything that this company has done. And the most important part is that last piece, making sure when they do return, putting them into situations that matter and that most of all matter to the fans. And I think they hit it out of the park. On one hand, you have Hangman Adam Page, whose main goal at this point is not to win the World Championship, is not to win a match, not to win a tournament. It is to punish Swerve Strickland. In the mind of Hangman Page, everything that has happened over the past year has been an injustice. He feels like Swerve Strickland, who broke into his house, who battered him bloody at multiple points, who literally hung him at one point at Full Gear 2023. He feels like all the adulation that Swerve is getting, all of the hullabaloo and hoopla around him and his title reign are undeserved, unwarranted, and that's why he's coming with his justice to ensure that Swerve Strickland does not have a moment of happiness. And that's why he came into the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And I think that's the perfect place to put him in. And notice how when he did come back, he did not align himself with the Elite. He said that he's not that kid anymore. He's not the kid that they can bully around, push around, and persuade to do whatever they want. He's his own man, and he's got his own mission. So when you look at Hangman Page, it feels different, it feels important, and it feels like this character has the motivation to move forward. And you want to talk about motivation, there is no one more motivated right now, I think, than Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in the entire company. She came in, does a promo, a very heartfelt one at that, talking about how she had a mini stroke and that kept her out of AEW for months. And for months, she was sitting there watching these new stars come in, most notably Mercedes Moné, take her spot, and in her eyes, undeservedly so. So she's come back to reclaim her dominance over this women's division. And if you look at the way that they shot this angle on Dynamite, it was absolutely spectacular, because you have a double turn basically, because remember, Britt Baker was kind of a heel when she left, and Mercedes over the past few months has been a babyface. But immediately as Britt comes back, she cuts this heartfelt promo, and then Mercedes just absolutely stomps all over it, rubs it in her face, aligns with the Elite, which is something that Hangman didn't even do, and really showed why that AEW needed her. They have a top heel in that women's division, and they have that AEW original in Britt Baker in her eyes for that company. And it plays so well into what they're doing leading up to Blood and Guts with this storyline between the Tony Khan faction of AEW and the Elite faction. So I absolutely love this. And if you watch the past few weeks of AEW TV, another thing that has really helped restore the feeling, as I said before, has been the refocusing on story. AEW is not a company that will, or honestly should, tell melodramatic stories throughout its entire show. But what it has done has told focused stories that are grounded in reality, that feel real, that are authentic, and that you genuinely believe. And that is the difference between AEW the past few weeks and AEW the past few years. And if they continue to be on this run, they are going to be telling the best stories in wrestling. They are going to be putting on the best matches in wrestling. And if you ask me, they continue to do what they're doing, they will have the best show in all of pro wrestling. But I guess we'll see.